This is a summary of the expected answers for the first exam at AIS 4330. We'll go through each of the questions, and since there seemed to be some confusion or lack of retention, I've got the qualitative characteristics diagram up on the left-hand side. Which of the following is not a characteristic of useful information? Well, feedback value is a part of useful information. Timeliness is a part of useful information. Representational faithfulness is a part of useful information. Understandability, while it's part of the diagram, is a quality of the user, not the information itself. So easy to understand is the answer there. That is not a characteristic of useful information, but a characteristic of the user. Okay, on the next one, relevance requires that information possess predictive and or feedback value and be, well, many of you said relevant and reliable. Well, that's the two primary qualities of useful information. But this question asked, what are the qualities expected for relevance? And here we're looking for timeliness, neutrality, cost effectiveness, and reliability are not part of relevance. So the answer there is timeliness. Okay. On the next one, Brown Mining Company and Red Mining Company are competitors. What qualitative characteristic is necessary for prospective investors who wish to determine which firm would be the best investment? Well, they are going to be comparing one company against the other one. If one of them is using first in, first out inventory costing, the other one's using last in, first out, and there's substantial difference in the price level, well, the investor needs to know that. Verifiability is nice. Consistent information is nice, but I don't really care if I'm making an investment this year whether this company, one of the companies I'm looking at, used FIFO last year and is using LIFO this year. What I do care about is comparability, the information to compare one to the other. So answer we're looking for here is comparability. Okay, moving on to number 4, a supply chain system, which gives information about materials coming into the company, processing done in them, and materials going out of the company to customers. That supply chain system will include information on current customers, what inventory is available now, and where you're going to get inventory or components, current suppliers. So the piece that a supply chain information system does not have is prospective customers. Okay, number 5, read the question carefully. We're talking about transforming data. Input is not transforming, it's just entering into the system. Storage just stores it as it's been input. Output puts out the information that is contained in the system. The only transformation stage is going to be processing. Choice C. Moving on to number 6, which of the following best describes a business model? Well, C is clearly wrong. B and D have pieces of it, but what we're trying to do in a business model is give you a simple representation of the business process or processes. So the answer that we're looking for there is choice A on number 6. Okay, moving on to the next question. In one instance of the process shown below, review contract, that's this step, starts at 12 noon exactly and takes 3 hours to complete. When is the manager notified? And everybody got this question correct. Not everybody got the same answer, but there are arguments for A, B, C, and no one chose never. If your interpretation of this diagram is that the contract review takes 3 hours, and then the decision about whether it took more than 1 hour or not is made at the completion of the process, then you could choose choice B, 3 hours from the start of the contract review to go to the manager notification. So that's a possibility. It's also possible to interpret this as there is a monitor on the system that says, is this contract processing taking more than an hour? And if it is a manual review, the contract review takes an hour, walk down the hall, give the information to the manager. That's 101. If it's a automated notification, as soon as the timer clicks to 60 minutes, you notify the manager. So A or C can be correct. So everybody got credit for this one. Moving on to, so we'll give you all of those as possibilities. Moving on to number 8. When creating a BPMN activity model, which of the following is most accurate? It's not an artistic endeavor. It is a depiction of the business process that shows the steps, sequence, information flows in and out, timing. All of those things should be the same from model to model. If you give different modelers the same set of facts, they should have similar models of the process. Doesn't have to match the structure of the database, doesn't have to have gateways. So D is the correct answer. Number 9, process shows A, B, C with arrows going to D. Some students said process diagram is ambiguous. There should be a message or a start. Is there any doubt about the direction of flow here? There is no question which activities occur before D, so there is no ambiguity. Now, you can argue that you have to have a start for A or for B or for C, but this diagram itself says that those tasks are going on at the same time and their output flows to D. So the right answer here is number C. Activities A, B, and C are stated in parallel. Okay, for the next one, number 10, which of the following best describes the purpose of a primary key? Well, A and C are tools that you can use a primary key for, but the primary key says this is the distinct element of the data that I'm looking for. This says unique identifier for each instance of the class. A primary key can't be blank, and it has to go to just one element. Otherwise, it's not a good primary key. So D is the answer we're looking for here. Okay, number 11. Which of the following statements about foreign keys is not true? Well, foreign key can combine attributes. You can, for example, what we did in class on Friday was combine the division number and the store number into a key. So it can be a combination of attributes. Your primary key can be a combination of attributes. The foreign key must match values of the linked primary key? No. The primary key Okay, well, must match fact. Well, that has to be true. Foreign keys support a defined association. If they don't support a defined association, they're no good to you. They don't point it. But the foreign key cannot be null? Well, it can be. Think about a foreign key which is customer ID. It links the cash receipts to the customer who paid the cash. But you can have a customer, someone buying in cash, who is not in your system. Somebody just walks up and says, I just want to buy this. It can be null. So foreign key can be null. Primary keys can't. Moving on to number 12. An entity is something about which information is stored. The characteristics of interest that are stored about the entity, those are the attributes. Those are the special characteristics that you're looking for on each element of the database. So attribute is the right answer there. Okay, which of the following statements about SQL is incorrect? Well, SQL does query data in a relational database. It is based on relational algebra, and it lets you not only query but update. And it uses select statements to tell the query which columns or attributes should be included in the query. C is the answer we're looking for here, because SQL is not user-friendly. And those of you who are struggling with the Access assignment will probably endorse that it's not. Access is an application of SQL. So the answer there is C, not very user-friendly. Okay, the main purpose of using foreign keys in a relational database design, number 14, you use those to link tables together. You don't have to have foreign keys in all tables. Foreign keys are not tied only to financial values. So C is the only right answer there. Moving on to number 15. All non-key, primary and foreign attributes must describe a quality of the item identified by the primary key. Yeah, that's correct. Primary keys can't be null or empty. That's correct. Foreign keys, if not empty, must be a primary key in another table. So that will give you the linkage from the table that you're looking at using the foreign key to a unique value in another table. So that's correct. So the answer for number 15 is all of the above.